Hi guys, welcome to another BCG Bulletin, and we're going to be looking at a new Nissan sports car. Some shocking news regarding Bugatti and the power of color. We'll be looking at all of those. Before we do that, make sure you're subscribing to youtube.com/browncarguy. Make sure you follow me on all the social media channels. Just search for my hashtag browncarguy. That's on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook. And of course, subscribe to browncarguy.com. You can also sponsor my content on patreon.com/Shazad Sheikh, and I'll name check past and present sponsors at the end of this video. Cool. Let's check out these stories. You see the resemblance? This is, of course, the new Nissan Proto Z. Now, this is supposed to be a concept car that actually previews the latest Z car, which should come out next year, which is likely to be called the 400Z. We've had the 350Z, which was introduced in 2003, ran to 2008. Then we had the 370Z, which was introduced then and was discontinued, I believe, or is about to be discontinued this year. And then this one will be the latest in that version. Now, aside from that rather gaping front mouth, which is a little bit, that front view is a little bit awkward. Those headlights, the way they've got that halo effect, that harks back to the 240ZJ of the 70s, which was the Japan-only version, and that one had basically these hooded covers on top of the round headlights. So the round headlights and then hooded covers on top. So because you had that double bubble effect, that's what they've done with the headlights to give it that thing. So all of this car, basically the designer, Alfonso Albaiza, has said that we decided that the Z Proto, or the Proto Z, whatever it is, should travel between decades, including the future. So, harking back to decades, they've got the pearlescent yellow paint from, which was a very popular color in the original 240Z, was also actually on the 300ZX, the Z32 model. And this car in profile, there's a lot of similarity between this and, of course, that original, much loved, I should say. It's got a cult classic following that car, the 240Z, later the 280Z. I like the 280Z as well. And the rear of this is very much like the 300ZX, the Z32, which actually is one of my favorite Z cars. So a lot of cool lot of cool stuff in this car. Now that front end, that's a bit weird. I can fix it. And here are my answers on how it could be fixed. Yeah, you just take the rally lights off the 70s model Z car and put them on there and it should be fine. But anyway, so the other thing is that Motor Trend magazine looked at this car and they said that they would notice a lot of similarities between this and the previous two Z cars, and they reckon it's pretty much the same car. Now, they may be right, but this one is 5 inches longer, which is significant when it comes to cars. But also, remember, it's a concept, so it could well be that they have built this on that platform. So it'll be interesting to see the actual production car and if it's the same as this, and if not. Even if it is based on those cars, I mean, it's not such a bad thing because, you know, that's often a case of evolution. The fact is it's going to get a completely new engine, which is going to be a 3-liter V6 twin turbo, which will either offer 300 or 400 horsepower. That's in a manual rear-wheel drive car, drift on. So this car is, as you know, the Nissan CEO, Makoto Uchido-san, says, with the Z, we're bringing back the excitement of a pure sports car. And you know what? That's not a bad thing. So the looks, I tell you what, when it first came out, I was like, whoa, this is a bit weird. But the more I've been looking at it, the more it's been growing on me. And if they can just fix that front of that car, just not quite as rectangular, that opening, then I think this is a pretty cool looking car. And I think with that spec, I think it should be a pretty good driver's car as well. I can't wait to see more when this car comes out. There is one very bad piece of news though, I do have to let you know. It is not slated for Europe and therefore the UK. It's not going to come here. It's just the case that it's just economically not viable, sadly. So we're not going to get it. Well, unless you go and import one from Japan and North America, and I suspect it will go to the Middle East as well. So those are my followers in the Middle East. Yeah, stand by for this. Anyway, as soon as I learn more about it, I'll share it with you. So my goodness, this was Ferdinand Piech's baby, the figurehead, if you like, the godfather, if you like, of what used to be the Volkswagen Group. He passed away a few years ago, and these boutique brands that he bought for the Volkswagen Group, brands such as Lamborghini, Ducati, and what else did he buy? Bentley, and then of course he revived Bugatti. These were basically his toys. This was his toy cabinet, and of course with the Veyron, it was his dream to create, the world's fastest car that had to have 1,000 horsepower, and he set all parameters for it, and just he demanded that it should be that way, and it was produced that way. And of course that was hugely successful. It was a great marker. It was a very admirable car when it came to the technological achievements of that car. I have driven a Veyron. It didn't really take me that much. I didn't really get that excited, but I just could see that it was stupendously quick, but it didn't really excite me as a driver. Also, the interior was a bit bland, but the latest one, the Chiron, I think, has a beautiful interior and actually has better styling as well. So definite improvement there. But the shock horror, I mean, they sell these cars for $1 million, $2 million, whatever, special editions, but they want to get rid of the whole thing now that Ferdinand's not around. This one's easy. In this COVID year, all of these boutique brands are worth less than they would normally be, so it's not really a good idea to sell them. So what are they going to do with Bugatti? Well, the idea is to, via Porsche, offload it to Rimac. Yeah, Rimac, the electric supercar maker. You know the ones that Richard Hammond crashed, those guys? Well, apparently Rimac is massive in Europe. Rimac is regarded as the Tesla of Europe. And there's something like 15, 16 companies are actually investing in or involved or using technology from Rimac. Some of the investors include Hyundai, Jaguar, Koenigsegg, Magna, which makes parts for other manufacturers, and of course Porsche. Porsche owns around 15% of Rimac. But Rimac is seen as, because they have this incredible electric powertrain, and of course all the manufacturers are looking at that as something very important going forward. The unique thing about them, the USP for them, is the power density. So the power that they can give you for the space that they take is incredible. And I guess that would make perfect sense for a supercar, which is why Bugatti would live really well with them. And they're not talking about really changing any money changing hands, really, because they reckon that the Rimac, more than half of Rimac is still actually owned by its founder, and it's valued at around 500 million pounds or something. And then the Bugatti brand is probably valued around 500 million euros. So they're talking about basically doing a swap for Porsche to get a much larger share. Some talk of as much as 49%. I don't know if the founder would give up that much, especially if he's got so many other car manufacturers interested. But a massive stake. Anyway, that's the idea. So the idea is that, well, they can get rid of this brand. It was only there because it was a project of Ferdinand Piech, but then they can get rid of it and in return get hold of this technology from Rimac. The question in my mind, though, is where does that leave the other boutique brands? Lamborghini, Bentley, and Ducati. I'm less interested in Ducati, let's be honest. But Bentley and Lamborghini have done extremely well being part of that Audi Volkswagen Group family. So where would they go from here? I'm sure the Chinese would step forward to buy them, but I don't know if I really want to see that. Anyway, so there you go. That is a bit of a shock horror story that, I don't know if it's horror, but it's certainly a shock surprise that Bugatti might be offloaded to the Croatian electromobility technology and supercar company Rimac. And now we move to the last story, which is actually my favorite story because it relates to car colors. And I actually did a video about car colors some time ago, and I spoke about how the impact that they can have on a nation's mood. That was part of what I spoke about, in addition to what colors say about the car and the owners, etc., etc. One of the things that I said in that video was that how it reflects the mood of a nation. So particularly if you look back in history, you'll see post-war, post-Second World War, 50s, when there was a sense of optimism, and certainly in America and to some extent in Europe, you saw lots of bright pastel colors, lots of bright colors. That's if you look at movies at the time, that's what you'll see. Of course, these days you look out the window and you'll see blacks, silvers, grays, whites. That's pretty much all you see, and that kind of reflects the sort of kind of world that we're living in. And Jeep have done some research. Actually, they didn't need to do any research. They should have just asked me or looked at that old video. I would have told them. But they've done some research that says that color can dramatically lighten your mood. In fact, they've spoken to a color psychologist, Karen Haller, and who says that people often think of color as just a visual stimulus, but it also creates psychological changes, altering how someone feels in an instant. And I do believe that's true, actually. It is thought people are only 20% conscious of the color choices they make, when in reality it influences everything people do, from what people buy and eat to how people relax, and most importantly, how people feel. I totally agree with that. So what Jeep are doing is they're offering an initiative, and as part of this initiative, they're offering free paint upgrades to anyone who chooses a vibrant color when purchasing a Wrangler. And Wranglers do look great in bright colors, actually. So the colors that they're offering, it's firecracker red, pumpkin metallic orange, hella yellow, and bikini metallic blue. I'll tell you what, the Jeep, Chrysler, Dodge group, they always do such great names when it comes to colors, don't they? In fact, I remember some of the Dodge colors, Go Mango and Plum Crazy. Can you remember some of the other colors, or tell me some of them? Put them in the comments. They got some great names for colors. They got great names for engines and cars, let's be honest. Hellcat, come on. But put some of the color names that they have in the comments below. I want to see what names you remember. No, so these colors that they're offering, Firecracker Red, is the red is equivalent to an espresso shot. It will give an instant energy boost. There you go. That's Firecracker Red. Pumpkin metallic orange is the color that expresses joy. It speaks to that part of a driver's personality that loves a childlike play and fun. It's even a bit mischievous, so there you go. Hella yellow. Yellow is like being greeted with a big cheery hello. That's what that is. It's the color of the sun. It lifts spirits and it fills us with happiness, leaving us full of optimism and positivity. Can't argue with that. Bikini metallic blue, well, that comes up time again as the world's favorite color. Blue is a very strong color, and it conjures up association of diving into a warm tropical sea. It's like having your own tropical paradise, is what they say. Don't drive your Wrangler into the sea. Not a great idea, but you can ford water though, anyway, that's for sure. But there you go. So that's what they're doing. I think that's a fantastic initiative, and I wish other manufacturers would do the same. I've said this before, I want to see more bright, colorful, exciting cars, vibrant cars in our world, because, you know, we need to really lift our spirits after this terrible year that we're having. Anyway, those are my updates in the latest BCG Bulletin. Hope you are checking out that playlist of the rest of the videos I've got on there. And of course, make sure that you subscribe to youtube.com/browncarguy. Hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any of these video uploads. Make sure you follow me on all social media channels. Just search for my hashtag. You can see on my hashtag browncarguy. That's on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And of course, subscribe to browncarguy.com. If you enjoy my content, then think about sponsoring my content from as little as £2.40 or $2.40 a month, and you can do that on patreon.com/Shazad Sheikh. And a big shout out and thanks to people who have done that in the past and currently. That includes Muhammad Ali Ahmed in the UAE, Partha over in India, Tom Conway Gordon here in the UK, and Isaac over in America. You guys are awesome. Thanks so much. Maybe you can join them. That would be great. If you can't, no worries. Please continue to like, share, comment, subscribe. Definitely hit that like button. Very, very important. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you again soon in the next video.